Welcome back to another episode of Rooted Podcast from the NWTF show here in Nashville, Tennessee. We have a very, very special guest with us today, Mr. Jordan Summitt, the Strut commander himself.
Oh, don't call me that.
One.
Don't call me
yeah.
that.
Another
I
one.
just
Turkey
love
killer.
killing turkeys.
Well, you kill a lot of them, for sure. So thank you for taking the time to be on with us
buddy.
today, and more than happy to have you. You know, I was telling Brandon earlier that you always help anytime I call or text. You're like, boom, Johnny on the spot right there. And, that's just something you don't get a lot, and it means a lot to me and to us, and we just really appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah, I've just I need a lot of help a lot of times, so I'm always happy to help somebody else. So I figure if we all help each other, then you're never looking for help then, right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
No doubt. So, man, I kind of just curious, where did you get your start in this whole outdoor industry hunting world? Where did that begin for you?
Man, I don't know if the podcast is long enough, but no, honestly, I didn't hunt growing up.
Really?
Believe it or not. So I didn't hunt at all. Kind of got into it late in high school. I was a nerd, so I liked the computers and stuff like that. I was a graphic designer.
Okay.
That was kind of what I wanted to be, and went to college for that, for graphic design. And then in college, you kind of catch yourself doing dumb things with your friends, right? I'm sure we've all done that. And whenever my friends were doing dumb things, I was the guy videoing it all.
Okay.
So I would video
Gotta
it.
love that.
Yeah, that's right. And I would video it and put together like a highlight reel at the end of every semester of all of
that's
our
hilarious.
dumb things that we did, getting stuck in the mud. And we would go hunting too, but we didn't really film any of the hunting. We just filmed all the dumb stuff we did in between hunts. But anyway, so I did a lot of our videos for college and kind of got into the editing. I was like, man, that'd be kind of fun to edit actual
Like projects and hunts?
hunts.
Yeah.
Projects and stuff. And so I kind of got into duck hunting. I was a big fan of Duck Commander, and this was before Duck Dynasty. And,
Gotcha.
they were big to me.
Sure.
But they weren't where they are now by any means. And so Phil and Jace and all them, they had their videos, and I would watch those videos, and every time I'd see it, I was just like, man, that's got to be the coolest job ever, to video those guys. And so I ended up just sending in just like a cold call email
Wow.
to their website, and Willie answered it. And Willie, his first line was, man, I went to that exact same college you're going to right now.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That is crazy.
And so he invited me down for like 2 weeks during my Christmas break. And basically I did like just a little mini trip with them and filmed ducks for 2 weeks. And so at the end of that 2 weeks, he gave me a summer job. He said, hey, what are you doing this summer? I said, I'm getting married. He said, man, you don't need to be living at home when you get married. You need to be out on your own, all those things. And so me and my wife got married, moved down to West Monroe.
Where are you from originally?
Conway, Arkansas.
Conway, Arkansas.
Conway, Arkansas.
Yep. And so, got married, moved down there, worked for the entire summer with the plans of going back for my senior year of college. And then Willie said, man, I really need a camera guy full time. He said, I'm about to start a new company called Buck Commander. He said, I want to take what my dad did with ducks, and I want to do it on the deer side. I got a bunch of friends that are deer hunters, and I need a camera guy. He was like, I'm offering it to you. He said, you can take it now for what I can pay you, or, you can go back to school, and I might still have it this time next year, but I'm probably going to fill the position.
Yeah.
And went and got with my wife, and we prayed about it, talked about it, met with our families, and anyway, that was 20 years ago this year.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Isn't it crazy how God orchestrates things at the right time, at the right place, and puts those people in your life and the opportunities when they're supposed to happen?
Very much. One of Willie's things that he talks about a lot, he's got this book called Gospeller, and just talks about, all the kind of what you said, you know, people get put in your life and things happen. You don't really understand why, but, you know, all worked out.
Yeah.
And so, man, I think about, you know, and Willie talks about this in his speeches a lot, but if Phil hadn't have changed his life, Willie's family, the Duck Dynasty may never have happened.
Right.
Duck Commander may have never happened.
Yeah.
If Duck Commander doesn't happen, I don't watch the videos.
Right.
I don't move down there. I'm not
Exactly.
sitting here with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Think about that.
Yeah.
So the way God orchestrates things to happen the way they do,
Yes, sir.
man, it's just amazing.
Well, you know, it really puts things into perspective too, because, you know, when you really zoom out and see the big picture versus one little tiny, like, this isn't just a podcast. This is someone many moons ago made a decision, which then led to you, which then led to here. So
That's right.
That's
right.
that's very cool.
You
So,
know, what?
yeah, super blessed. Love it.
You know, and that's how I met Jeff, was through sponsoring the All God's Children.
Yeah.
And then they were like, hey, we're coming to Nashville. We want to meet with you and just talk or whatever. And I sat down with them. And they're like, we need to introduce you to Jeff. And I was like, okay, cool story. I've heard that 100 times.
Yeah.
And he called me. And I let it go to voicemail. I couldn't help myself.
No, it's
But, you
funny.
know, it's just wild how, you know, I grew up watching Duck Commander from the very first DVD that it was ever put out all the way through. And, you know, I loved watching those videos. I love watching Phil roll that dough in the middle of the swamp, you
It
know.
was awesome.
It was. It was absolutely awesome. And just to see how many lives he changed by sharing the gospel with people was one of the main catalysts in doing what we do today. You know, and that's why we do what we do, is so that maybe somebody will hear the gospel. You know, and Phil was a big part of that for me when I was a kid.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's just, you know, you look at your life and you look at all the things you've been blessed with, and you see how it's there. I see my boy Parker over there.
That's it. Live from the turkey show. You just
Oh,
never
yeah.
know who's going to swing by.
Yep. He's actually my boss. I'm supposed to be working right now. So
He'll be all right.
He'll be all right. But
There you go.
anyway, yeah, it's been good, man. Been good.
So, how big is faith in your life in general, hunting? I mean, is it everything?
It's the
Yeah.
number one priority. Like
Right.
if you don't have that right, nothing else falls in line.
That's the
I
truth.
mean, that's kind of been our whole, you know, motto / slogan for the Commander brands is faith, family, and then whatever it is you love in life, turkeys, ducks, fishing, whatever. That's how it rolls. Faith, family, that. So
There you go.
always got to keep faith first.
Well, in light of being here at the turkey show, let's talk about some wild turkeys.
Oh man,
Here
I
we
can't
go.
wait. I can't wait. My voice is about gone
Mine is too.
Yeah.
from talking about wild turkeys so much, but I can't stop.
No, me neither.
I heard
It's one of
that.
those things, it's just an addiction you can't get rid of. But it's a good one. you
Oh,
know?
it's the best one you can have.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Being addicted to the outdoors is hands down the best thing you could ever have in your life, because not only do you get to see God's creation come to life, but you get the meat that was prepared by Him that no other man has touched.
That's right. That's right.
So, out of all the turkeys you've ever hunted, which ones would you consider to be the easiest ones to kill?
Oh man. You know what's weird is like I've had hunts in places that shouldn't have been easy,
Yeah.
Sure.
and then I've had hunts in places that should have been easy that were really, really hard. I guess I'll go the opposite of your question, but one of the hardest hunts I ever had was for a Nebraska Merriam.
Really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
I killed a couple there before, but this one particular year, it was just tough.
Yeah.
And it was mainly conditions and just where the birds were in their phase, you know, and whatnot. But, man, we worked 7 days before we were able to
Wow.
connect. I mean, that was tough. And Nebraska, you know, not Nebraska, but Merriams are kind of known for being not the smartest ones of
Right.
them all. They like to gobble. They're very vocal. You know, they produce results. And so, as somebody who likes to go hunt them, you know, especially when you've been whooped down south
No doubt.
by a
Yeah.
southeastern turkey, you know, going to Nebraska, that's a slump buster, you know?
Yeah. That's a good time, no doubt.
Yeah.
That's right. But as far as, what was your original question? What was that?
The
Easy.
easiest.
The easiest turkey. I had a hunt, and again, Louisiana is not an easy place to kill. Okay, usually it takes a while, depending on, just because there's I always tell people there's as many turkeys as there are turkey hunters in Louisiana.
Sure.
So take that how you want it. But I had a hunt one time. I don't know. This was several years ago, but I had been taking my son out in the mornings, trying to get him his first bird, and we weren't having any luck. And it was just a beautiful day, and he had baseball practice. This was probably 10 years ago, but he had baseball practice that day. And I asked him, I said, hey, do you want to skip baseball practice? It was like at 11. I said, we can go back out and try again, Maybe they'll be off the hens. He was like, no, I want to do baseball. I said, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I go out there, literally walk maybe 100 yards from my truck, struck one up. Within 15 minutes, I had that bird dead, and I was back to my truck.
Nice.
Gotta
love that.
A big old eastern Louisiana turkey. It was nuts.
Yeah.
So I would say that was probably my quickest hunt ever from start to finish. So therefore, I'm going to throw it in the easy category.
Yeah.
I love it.
Pretty much a layup.
Yeah.
Do you like to do that midday?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Kind of try to find a lonely one away from everything.
I love it. Those like 11 to 2 o'clock turkeys.
Lone gobblers.
Man, especially out in Kansas, Missouri.
Yeah.
Out there, man, we've got a place that we hunt pretty regularly. We take veterans there, the E3, and I've got a couple spots out there, just real pretty clover fields.
Yeah.
And if we don't get it done in the morning, it is. I would put all the money I have on these spots at 11 o'clock.
There you go.
We go out there at 11. I'm going to stripe one up. They're going to be in the field. As long as we shoot and make a good shot,
Right.
we're going to kill one. So, yeah, I love that midday turkey.
I kind of feel like if a midday turkey gobbles, it's almost like, yep, he's going to die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, typically.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Typically.
nothing's 100%, but
No,
for the most part.
But you're right. My son, my youngest son, his first bird, it's probably 4 or 5 years ago. We had worked kind of the same thing, just all morning, getting, whooped by turkeys and kind of the same thing. I said, man, let's go try this other property. And I said, I've had some luck there in the midday. So we go out there, walk about 200 yards, called nothing, walked another 50 yards, called, hammered. I said, get down right now, he's coming.
Yeah.
And within 15 minutes, he came in, and
the deal was done.
that was the end of that one. So
I love that.
yeah, I love a midday turkey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. So, being from Louisiana, I know that the turkey population down there is not like it is in other parts of the Southeast. What could that be attributed to, or has it always been like that? Are the wild hogs a problem, or is it more so like the fire ants, things like that?
My personal opinion is Louisiana, there's a lot of tree farming. So a lot of pines that are getting farmed. And so I'll actually use my place as an example where I get to hunt. I've hunted it for probably a little over 10 years. And it went from being a, 20-year-old standing pines where you could get on birds to then they thinned it. And it actually got better when they thinned it. And then they would just start clearing sections. And when they cleared these sections, the turkeys would move a little bit. But then this year, if you were to walk out there, it looks like the surface of the moon. There's not a turkey in sight. I mean, there's nowhere for them to go. So, they're going to go find, more trees. They're going to find other areas that they can go roost in.
Exactly.
And kind of
the habitat they need.
The habitat they need. And the problem is that when that is on the neighbors, I can't really do anything about that. So my whole section is nothing but dirt. So I kind of lost that place. But I think there's a lot of that going on. I know that there's a lot of that going on because most of the leases down there are, timber management companies and stuff like that. And so you have no control down there, or at least most people have zero control if you're on a lease and they're doing timber management. If it's time to cut those trees, it's time to cut those trees. Then they don't burn. They go spray. And that, we all know that doesn't help, right? As far as creating more habitat for the turkeys. And so when you have that, and then you pair it with hogs, the hogs, I do believe, I've seen hogs, they'll eat newborn fawns off the ground. Like they'll root around.
Holy cow.
Oh yeah, we've seen them do it. And then obviously the biggest thing to me is predator control. Nobody's doing that.
I couldn't agree more.
The only reason you would be doing it in Louisiana and really most of the country is if you were doing it for the turkeys, right?
Exactly.
And so,
yeah, there's no real incentive anymore for fur, the fur market to trade. I mean,
that's right.
All that's. I mean, it's been awful for a while. The whole fur market.
Well,
thing.
and in the hunter, in our defense, I'll just say a little bit. You have somebody like me. I have a lease that's like an hour and a half from me. Yeah. Where I'm having to lease it from. So if I go line it full of traps, even get cameras on it, getting there every day or every other day is just
tough.
not. You can't do it.
It's not, especially kids and life.
Yeah, you can't make it happen.
No.
And so, again, that's a big reason why I don't. On my faraway places, I do I got a place that's about 20 minutes from me. I go to trap there. It's great. But, I can't go hour and a half away every other day of the week to go check traps.
And then an hour and a half back.
And so I'm not the only hunter. So if there's more people doing that, then, and again, there's just no incentive. And, I do see a resurgence of like trapping though. Have y'all seen that?
Yes.
I've seen more and more people getting fired up about trapping.
Well,
and that's pretty cool.
Exactly. And I think that whenever they see the actual results, like, hey man, don't put out one little leg trap. Like, if you put out 2 or 3 and do that for 3 or 4 years, and then all of a sudden you're like, I heard 7 gobbles instead of 3 today.
That's right.
And you're like, oh, got it. And it clicks, and you're, eventually you're like, hey, do you want your kids to have, places to hunt or birds to kill? Like, this is what you got to do.
Yeah,
it's part of the solution.
Absolutely. Well, and even this year in Louisiana, another thing too that I personally think Louisiana should go to a one-bird state. There'll be a lot of people that are probably mad at me for saying that on this podcast, but right now we finally got it moved to where you can no longer kill a jake unless you are a youth. That's it. Youth only can kill one jake. That's all you're allowed. So
that's all you're allowed in Tennessee now too, is one jake.
Yeah, if we can eventually get it to where, I don't mind a youth, a first-time hunter shooting a jake. And again, I am not some purist out there. I know there's people that, I work hard. If all I can kill is a jake, I'm super happy with that. Hey, more to you, that's fine.
That's great.
But once you get to a level where it's like, okay, hey, I've had my fun. I got to go out and hunt. I provided for the family. Now I'm looking at moving on to that next level where I want my kids to have turkeys.
Right.
Because that's all I care about anymore.
I heard you.
I'm not. I could care less if I shoot one, really. And I just enjoy calling them up for other people, especially my children. So, and now they've got friends and they're getting them involved. And so we need, young hunters out there doing this. And so speaking as somebody who did not hunt growing up, I see the importance of why it is, to get kids involved, get them doing more. And heck, getting them out there trapping, that's a great way to introduce them to it.
Yeah, it is. And, I took my son trapping for the first time 2 years ago. And he helped me set a leg hold trap because I've been seeing coyotes go through this one particular spot. Well, I let him put the bait out. We caught a dog 2 nights in a row in the same spot.
Really? Wow.
Yep, sure did. It was his very first time, and that boy stood out there with me and watched me skin the hide off and everything. And he loved every second of it. And I took him turkey hunting last year for the first time. He had just turned 4. We were sitting there, and they were gobbling all over the place, and he got real excited, and then he's like, oh, I think I need to go to sleep. I was like, go to sleep, buddy. Bird comes up 5 yards. I was like, hey, wake up. There's a turkey here. He said, no, Daddy, I just want to sleep. I was like, all right, buddy. You just sleep, man. You'll get him next year.
That's awesome. See, we our place in Kansas, Missouri, the E3, where we do a lot of veteran hunts out there. And so we actually just did a veteran, it was in January. We did a duck hunt, predator management, and it was like kind of catching up on our doe quota. And so anyway, we actually brought in a pretty well-known guy. His name's Jesse. He's got a YouTube channel. Sorry, Jesse, I can't remember your last name, but
Is this the chef?
no.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that.
I know, yeah, that's different.
Gotcha.
So anyway, Jesse comes in, and he runs traps on the whole ranch. I think he caught, in a matter of a few days, like 10 to 15 coyotes, like 20 coons, several possums, like an absurd amount of, predators. So we're super thankful for him because that's going to help us this spring.
Well, and a lot of people don't realize how many are out there because, folks will be like, well, I seen 1 or 2 or 3 coons. Like, I know that's what you saw, but dude, there's 3 times. For every one, I feel like there's 15 you don't see. It's just insane how many are out there.
Absolutely.
People don't know about. So we were talking about kids. How would you go? So for context, I just had a daughter. She's 10 months old. How would you go about integrating your kids into the hunting and outdoor fishing world? I mean, what are some tips and tricks there to kind of get kids involved?
First of all, don't force it. If they don't want to do it, don't force it because that's just going to make it worse. My kids, doing what I do for a living, and for those of you listening, what I do typically during the year, I'm a camera guy for 90% of the year. Turkey season is just kind of my time to take vacation to go play. But my kids are used to me being gone on hunts and things like that, and so they know I love to hunt. They know it's just part of how they grew up is hunting. And so again, the opposite of how I grew up. But man, when my firstborn son, man, I remember when I kind of got into turkey hunting. I think he was like 2 or 3 maybe, and I was like, man, I cannot wait to take him out. And he wanted to go, but I was still really kind of learning turkey hunting in general, still kind of a new hunter, pretty green. And I remember I didn't take him out in the woods or anything except for to go sit in the deer stand. He'd enjoy it. I was like, okay, he's going to hunt this spring. He's going to hunt. We're going to do it. So I got him a 410, and I remember this day. I'll never forget it. We go out to the range, and I get it set up, and I was like, okay, he needs to sit like he would be sitting against a tree. So I had him sitting. I propped the gun up on a little shooting rest, and I'm behind him. And the whole time he's like already crying and worried that the gun's going to kick. I had never shot this gun before. It's like, no, it's not going to kick, not going to kick. You're good, we'll be all right. And so he had never shot a gun before in his entire life. I just told him I put a red dot on it. I said, put that red dot right there on the target and fire. He does it, boom, it kicked the snot out of him. A 410, it was an old 410. I got it at a pawn shop. But anyway, kicked the living snot out of him. He starts bawling. He's like, I'm never shooting a gun again. And I'm sitting there shaking my head going, man, did I just screw that up?
Did I just ruin this forever?
Oh. So anyway, that was like when he was 4 or 5. And so the following year, he would not go. He was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to shoot the gun. And so then I think it was when he was 6, I finally talked him into it. And I had a 20 gauge at the time. And so my wife made him, because he was so worried about the gun kicking him, he wore this apparatus that she made out of a gun sock, and then filled it with like foam padding. And so basically it was a big piece of padding over his shoulder so that he wouldn't be afraid of shooting anymore.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, he ended up killing turkey. Totally worked out, whatever. And so then it was just a matter of getting him to hunt without that and kind of train him out of that. Well, my second son comes along, okay? The second son's about 6 years younger than the other one. So I told myself with him, I said, I'm not doing that again. He's not going to fire that gun until it's on a turkey. So anyway, we worked with him on just with BB guns and little things that I knew would not, scare him.
Pellets and all that.
That's right. And so shooting cans in the yard and just trying to get that site acquisition done. And so anyways, kind of same thing with him. We taught him that way. And then the first time he ever pulled the trigger was on a turkey. He shot it. He didn't even think about it.
Of course.
And so
I do that today.
long story short, that is my suggestion for getting kids, started in like to actually shoot. Like, don't force it. Take them out though, and that's something I didn't say a while ago. But my youngest son, I would just take him out and let him. I mean, he would sleep in the woods. He would just sit there and sleep and listen for turkeys and trapping again. That's another thing that's great. And so, just finding any way that you can to make it fun and let them be out there, but also, when you are out there, don't take yourself so seriously.
Yeah.
Which I was bad about early on in my turkey hunting career, was just taking myself way too seriously to the point of where, I was kind of miserable to be around if the hunt wasn't going great. What's up, Sydney?
Hey.
Y'all need to get Sydney.
Yeah, we are. Come
here.
on over here. What's going on? This is Sydney Wells live from the Turkey Show.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Sid? How are
What are
you?
you guys doing? I'm losing my voice. Are y'all?
Yep. It's getting there.
It sounds like you're sick.
Well, my voice is gone.
Y'all have a good show out for NWTF?
It's doing well.
I know you're getting ready for turkey season.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're talking about right now.
Oh,
Killing
well,
'em.
it's going to be a fun one. I'll see y'all later.
All right. Thanks, City. See ya. But anyway, yeah, so, just making it fun for them. Don't take yourself too seriously. Don't be miserable to be around. A lot of times with my younger one, he actually got to enjoy the good side of me. My older one dealt with I'm still learning. I'm getting frustrated at the situation. So he dealt with that side of me. Now I'm like carefree. Like, we don't kill one. I don't care, man. Let's have fun.
Exactly.
Like,
Just
so
enjoy it.
Everybody kind of goes through those phases, I think. So that was my phase for sure. I was way too serious for a long time. So now I'm not. And honestly, kill more turkeys. So.
Yeah. Well, I've kind of noticed that too. It's like some of the older guys, they've kind of told me, like, man, I kind of have a slower step in it. I've actually killed more turkeys taking time and being slow and not carrying as much. And I don't want to say not caring, but in the sense of, like, they're not super worried about it.
They're not worried about it, but the end goal is not always to kill one. Like, you're not there for that. Like, I don't know. I saw it on somebody actually made a meme or something of this, but there were like three to five stages of a turkey hunter. So you got that first stage. I'm probably going to butcher this, but the first stage is like, you don't know what you're doing. You're screwing up. You're messing up birds. You're blowing them off the roost. You don't know what you're doing. Second stage is like, okay, I killed a couple. Like, I'm getting there. And third stage is like, man, I've killed a ton of them. And man, I am going nuts. Like, I want to kill every one of them that I see, and I'm not going to stop. So that's the bloodthirsty stage. Most of us have been there. And so then that becomes the top of your priority list, where that's all you want to do.
You're just mad at them.
You're just mad at them.
Yeah.
Well, then you eventually come off of that to where the stage I'm talking about is like, man, I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah, we're just
like,
chilling.
I want to talk to the turkeys.
Yep.
I want to see somebody else shoot one.
Yep.
Like, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
I agree.
So.
Yeah, I love taking people out. One of my kind of, I don't want to really say secrets, it's not really a secret, but a chufa field when I'm taking brand new people, that's just like the way to go. I don't know how much of that you've done in your life. I'm sure plenty, but man, hunting over a chufa field, it should be illegal. It works too good.
It's awesome. I've hunted in it in Alabama quite a bit. Where I'm at in Louisiana, that's another thing. We can't plant food plots. So
really,
yeah, we're at my place.
For turkey. I see what you're saying.
I just can't do it. Like, we can't do it because of the timber management.
Like they don't. It's not a state law. It's
correct. You
okay,
just
I'm
can't
with
do
you.
it with the particular place I'm at.
I see.
But I've hunted at them in Alabama.
Yeah.
And so, man, they're lethal. Up at the E3 in Kansas, Missouri, we have some food plots, some spring plots that are really helpful, especially for those midday gobblers.
Yep.
We're talking about.
The clover and everything.
Yeah, the clover. They love a clover field. So, anyway, yeah.
Very cool. Man.
Yeah, that's super cool. I hope I can keep my voice for long enough to say what I need to say, but it's about gone. But, I agree, not forcing your kids to do it every day as serious as you are, because there was also a time, I love ducks. I am a duck fanatic. And there was a time that I was so hard up on killing a duck that if I didn't kill a limit, I would get upset.
Oh, I believe it.
And not even kill a duck, a limit.
Yeah, a limit. And the older I get, I'm like, man, it's more about going out, watching God's creation come to life, and being with people who are like-minded and just solid individuals to be around. That's what it's really all about. The rest is a bonus. And, I'm so thankful for every sunrise I get to watch, because at the end of the day, you only have so many.
That's right. I had I got that phase I was telling you about where, you're bloodthirsty. And when I say that, it doesn't mean that, like, you're at a level where you just kill everything. You want to kill everything. You want them all to die. You want to fill all your tags. You want to be the guy bragging about it and all that. And man, if you're somebody that never was that stage, that's awesome. I definitely went through it. So I actually had a guy one year when I was way too serious. He told me I was. He was like, man, you're not fun to hunt with. Like, I'm not even having fun right now. And I was like,
that's a reality check.
It kind of woke me up where I was like, my gosh, we're not having fun, are we? Like, I'm being way too serious about this. And so, ever since then, I feel like I still take turkey hunting very seriously. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just not there for that end result of a dead bird. I mean, that is a great thing. That's a bonus. But man, if I heard one gobble, if I got one to communicate with me that day, if I saw the sunrise, if somebody that I was with got to witness their first turkey or sign of turkey, like, man, there's so many other things. And I think that's what makes turkey hunting so special, is that it's not just that end result of shooting one in the head and watching it flop. That's not it. It's everything leading up to that, right? Everything. All the, kind of what we talked about too is turkey hunting, it's a chess match, but kind of what we were saying about our stories, if Phil hadn't changed his life, how it would have affected this and affected that. Turkey hunting's the same way. If I hadn't have done this and then the bird hadn't have done that, and then this wouldn't happen, this wouldn't happen. You think about all those things. I mean, every time you kill a turkey, I'm sure you guys do, I go, well, that's crazy how that happened.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Wow, it shouldn't have happened that way.
Yeah.
So how all the pieces had to fall in line just to get that end result. Like, it's amazing. So anyway, that's kind of a cool way of looking at it.
No, it is.
There you go. So let's talk about turkey calls for just a second.
Okay.
What's your go-to? Are you like a mouth call, pot call guy?
Man, I used to be pot call only.
Yeah.
Pot call.
Like slate, ceramic, all those?
Yeah, slate, glass. We have Strut commander calls. I don't know if I can get plugs for that.
Of course you can.
I'm going to. But anyway, so when we came out with all our calls and stuff like that, I honestly, again, kind of going back to my early years of turkey hunting, man, you at this show, it's very intimidating. There's so many good mouth callers here, right? And so I was one of those too that I really didn't know what I was doing. I was trying, and it's so funny now that, now that I've actually kind of learned how to do everything and learned all the, different styles and calling and whatnot. And then if I hear someone, I'm like, yep, I remember I was there. Like,
oh, yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just practice. But, for the longest time, I would not use a mouth call, especially in public. I would do it on my own, but, like, I was embarrassed of it. Like, because I just didn't. I think I was at a constant state of comparison because I was so used to being around, other people that were so good. And my turkey hunting mentor, Mike Miller, man, I'll put him up there on the stage if he would do it. He's not going to do it ever, but, man, that dude's one of the best callers on the planet. And so he kind of taught me, at least in the ways of the woods, he taught me everything I know. I paid attention to his calling. I paid attention to when he called and his technique. And I just really tried to use that time when I was learning from him, following him around with the camera, just trying to soak up all that, and learn from it. And again, you're not going to get it all right then.
No, over time.
And be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that most of the stuff that I've learned over the years was when I was 100% by myself. And so I think that's what, kind of divides the good turkey hunters from the ones that aren't that great, are the ones that are really good, they learn from when they were not that great.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's the truth.
Right.
And
It's the only
so
way you grow.
that's right. And so Mikey, you know, you probably get sick of me hearing me talk about him, but man, he was a great turkey hunter. But I could guarantee you that if he was sitting right here, he would tell you about the years that he wasn't and how that ended up affecting him, you know, and how he learned from it and all of that. So
Well, and you said something there too. Is when not to call, I feel like is just as important as when to call.
absolutely.
And how often and everything like that really goes into it. Because people ask me all the time, and they're like, "Well, man, what's the best call and what's the?" I'm like, "Dude, the best turkey calling that you can do that kills more birds than calling is not calling.
Yeah. No,
Just
you're right.
learning how to shut up is an art." Because I have
Absolutely.
screwed up so many times when a bird's coming, and I'm like, I'm just gonna yelp even harder and louder, because in my brain I'm like, I yelp, he gobbles, oh, he loves it. Let's do it louder and more often. And eventually you kind of start to figure out that maybe we shouldn't do that.
And
all
eventually
too
he
much.
ends up in the next county.
Yeah, you're like, why are you still screaming at me, man?
Well, it is. It's all situational on the bird, the pressure on the bird, the location where you're at. I've been places, and Mikey, I'll tell you this, he's one of the most aggressive callers I've ever seen. Him and Bo Brooks. Bo Brooks is super aggressive. I've watched him do things that I wouldn't necessarily do with the turkeys that I have, but man, he does it, and it works, and it works for him. That's awesome, That's right. Like, that dude's a killer. And I kind of went through that too, where I just didn't know what to. I was like, I don't know how much to call. I'm just going to keep calling, and then you eventually work when you can tell what they're doing based on how much they gobble or how little they gobble, or like if they close the distance or anything like that. Okay, all right, we're just going to try something. We're going to shut up for a little bit and just see what happens.
Exactly.
So.
And I kind of call it checking the temperature. How hot is that bird? Is he screaming at you? Is he not? And then you just kind of go from there.
Man, and just too, like doing other things besides yelping, scratching the leaves, little whines, little purrs, like clucks, like things like that, man, that'll make them break just as much
Absolutely.
as, aggressive yelping.
Oh, it will. And I'll say this too. The worst turkeys calling I've ever heard was from a wild hen.
Yeah, there's
I
a
would
big
believe that.
difference between a stage and a real turkey hunter or a real turkey. I mean, because I've never won the thing, but I've been on the Grand National stage calling, and those boys sound amazing. And then I'll be like, "How was your turkey season?" And some of them, couldn't call in the bird, and it's like, and a lot of those guys are great hunters. But my point being, just because you can call to a judge doesn't mean you can call to a turkey.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Those
right.
are two totally
right.
different worlds. And
Well-
I'd say that, duck calling and everything, Ben, is probably the same way.
Absolutely. I would say too, like, again, location is huge. So what I do in Louisiana versus what, somebody up in West Virginia is doing on a mountain bird.
Right, yeah. Two different things.
Man, I could go up there. I could be, the most lethal guy in Louisiana for turkeys. I'm not. I'm just saying that I could be. I could be the guy that everybody's like, oh, man, that dude's always killing them. You send me up to West Virginia and put me on one of those mountain birds, and I don't know what to do, And so I've heard stories about them flying from one ridge to another after they fly down, and if you don't set up in the right spot, your morning's done, because there's no way you're making it to that other ridge on the other side of the mountain,
Yeah.
So pretty crazy.
Yeah. Situations are situational. That's the truth about that. So, what do you got planned for this spring?
Man, it's funny. I've had that question asked to me probably 20 times today. And while I would love to plan things, I don't. I'm not good at it. Really because I kind of play it by the weather. So I keep, I want to say, an open schedule. With what I do for a living, we have a lot of freedom, as far as being able to kind of take off when we need to and whatnot. And Willie's always been really good about, hey, man, make sure you get your stuff done. You can take off as you need. And so that's been a huge blessing for me in the turkey world, where, Ben calls me and says, hey, they're on fire. We got pretty weather for the next 3 days, I can get in the truck and go. So I will try to plan like specific states if I want to go try to hunt them. I always go to hunt with Brandon. That's always usually where we start our season is in Alabama for the youth. And then last year was the first year that I got to do it, but we did the Alabama youth season, and then we stuck around for a few more days and hunted the regular season. Brandon and I both doubled one morning, or an opening morning, I guess. And anyway, so I'll do Alabama, usually go to Texas, 100%. Probably the only thing that I definitely book my whole season around is our veteran trip that we do in April. So we go guide some veterans for the E3. That's a really special hunt, and so we always book that. And so then I just kind of play with stuff around them, and then obviously hunt at home in Louisiana.
Yeah, very cool. So it kind of seems like giving back is really big for you.
Man, it
Veterans, kids, whatever that looks like.
The way I think about it is, and this isn't a pitch for it. This is just kind of, I think what's special to me about taking veterans or my kids is nobody did that for me. And not to say that I deserved it or I didn't have anybody to take me. And so I didn't even know it existed, right? I didn't know turkey hunting was a thing when I was, a teenager. And so being able to share that with somebody, a lot of times our veterans have never hunted. Like, you'd be surprised by that, but a lot of our veterans especially never turkey hunted. And so it's pretty cool to take them out and, kind of show them the ropes, and I've got to explain to them when to move, not when to move, and hey, we're going to do this. And it's really cool to see especially if they kill one, their face light up. I had a guy last year. We went in that first morning, and we didn't go to where I wanted. I have like a spot that's always I'm going to say I stake claim on it on the ranch, but it's like, hey, that's where Jordan usually goes opening morning. And we went there, nothing was gobbling. I was like, okay, let's go down here. I know I heard one here the other evening when I was listening. So we went down there. We heard him. He was still in the trees, so we could go make a move. We went and got set up on a little clover plot. And, man, it was kind of what you said, like just some soft calling. I didn't do a whole lot. He eventually came in silent, never gobbled, came in silent. Had a lay down hen out there for him, so that they get a show, they get to see something. And so I put out a little lay down hen out there for him, and he came in, tried to breed the decoy, and got some cool footage of that. I was able to self film it, and anyway, my veteran killed it, and just an awesome hunt. And I think we were done at 6:55 or.
Gotta love those.
Yeah, so it was great.
And then you're back in the lodge for the biscuits. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Heck,
It was
yeah.
awesome.
Well, there you
So
go.
yeah, it's huge for me getting to do that stuff, and obviously take my boys out. I just didn't have that growing up. Parents were awesome. We did sports. We just did other stuff. We just didn't spend time in the woods. So I like to do that with my boys.
Absolutely. So are you a big decoy guy?
Man, I kind of went through phases of that too. I think I relied on a decoy early on because I just thought you had to have it.
Yeah.
When I first started turkey hunting, so I always took them. But I always found myself sometimes they worked, but then most of the time they didn't.
Yeah, they kind of spooked them or something.
Yeah, or I would just get tired of carrying them and I'd leave them somewhere, and then I'd have to go find them again. And so usually with a decoy, the only time I use it is like youth season. Just because you got a kid there, or, somebody that can't move as much, I'll put it out there for that, and to give them a show, that type of thing. And so I'll use it youth season, or if we do a veteran hunt.
Right.
Kind of something like that.
And this is probably like in a ground blind, I'm assuming.
No, it'll be on the ground. That
are?
is one thing I don't do. I don't hunt over ground blind.
Okay.
So I hope I don't offend anybody by
Mostly
that.
running, all the time running and gunning?
Running and gunning, and I'm against a tree.
Yeah.
Very
awesome.
I've hunted out of a ground blind one time, and it was only because my guy had a messed up foot and he couldn't go anywhere. And so we had to hunt out of a ground blind. But me personally, I just prefer just to be outside.
Yeah.
So.
Very
Well,
cool.
I'm offended.
I knew I'd offend somebody
I'm
today.
just kidding.
I will just kill him however necessary.
Yeah, me too.
Nothing wrong with that.
But definitely prefer, honestly, for me, no decoy, running and gunning. It feels closer. It feels like I fooled him. The decoy didn't fool him. And again, I've killed birds over decoys. I'm not above it.
Yeah.
You know,
me
I
either.
mean, if someone's like, "Hey, man, I really want to use this," all right, cool, whatever. But you know, if I have a choice, I'm doing no decoys, running and gunning, and then calling them in as close as I can, and doing the deal.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Oh, I remember back when I first started, like, even calling them in wasn't a thing. Like, as close as I could, it was like as soon as I could see them. Like, as soon as I could tell that was a longbeard,
Right.
boom. Like,
Versus kind of
usually about 50 to 60 yards. And so, luckily, I didn't cripple any, but now it's not that. Now it's about how close can we get him, like, without screwing this whole thing up.
And I think there's some of it is actually like, I just want to soak this in.
That's right.
Because Ben, and he'll tell you, if he can, he's going to make that dude gobble one last time right in front of your face. And, we did that last year. I mean, this bird was hammering, and, I mean, he could have shot him 100 times, and he's like, one more, boom, there we go.
Yeah.
Had to do it one more time.
And I love to give that experience to new hunters.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, kids and veterans and anybody new. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really exciting to kind of show them that.
Well, I like 'em to-
Y'all are going to have me host the rest of these this weekend,
I'm
aren't
telling
you?
you.
No, man, no doubt. Ben
Boys
is struggling
going-
down there.
Man, I hate that.
Well, and he's been giving seminars at Bass Pro and
Oh,
doing all the
man.
most. And I've been putting them. I just keep walking around and getting more guests, and But anyway,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good. I'm just saying, there's nothing like a turkey gobbling in your face at 20 yards.
Nope.
And if you can get somebody that's never done that before, never killed that bird, and they hammer right in their face, it's something that's going to stick with them forever.
Oh, forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like I've really gotten into when I use a decoy doing the lay down hen. If I do a lay down hen and a feeding hen, with a feeding hen in 2 or 3 yards in front of it, and that bird's not decoy shy or hadn't been
Right.
pressured a lot.
so you don't have a male out there, Jake Strutter, or nothing like that? Yeah.
No, he'll come in, and I've got it multiple times on video. He will come in and just breed that decoy. Brandon actually had a hunt last year in Texas where we did that because there were a lot of jakes in the area. Now, not saying I won't use a jake decoy, but if I do, it's a jake decoy. I don't use a full strutter. Just most
I've
of the
really
time.
never had it work, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
I've
It
seen
spooks
it.
more than it works,
That's
in
right.
my opinion.
I've seen it plenty from other people. Again, that's another thing I don't want to carry either.
Yeah,
But
I feel you.
Brandon had a hunt in Texas last year, and there were a lot of jakes on this property, and we would call up gobblers, and then they would either come in silent or they would start coming in, and then jakes would come in and run them off, right? And so anyway, we went down to this spot that we had killed the year prior, and we just put out a lay down hen. That was it. He said, "Hey, I don't want to do anything else. It's still lay down hen." Anyway, got that, put it down. Ends up calling up a longbeard. He comes in. Dude, I bet he got on that decoy for 5 minutes breeding it. And the only reason we were kind of all mesmerized, but he just kept going, and I kept cutting at him, and he would not stick his head up to gobble or anything. And Brandon's just waiting. What's up, Fred? And anyway, Brandon's just waiting, and he finally got a shot and killed him. But I mean, I bet we sat there 5 minutes watching him breed the decoy.
Wow. That's pretty
It's
cool.
crazy.
Man,
That is crazy.
you got to love that.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Now, I'm sure you have plenty more stories where it never works out.
Oh boy. Yeah. More
Yeah.
stories of how it didn't work out than it did.
Right. Well, and I kind of think it's important to kind of tell people that because, we could sit here and tell you a bunch of stories of how awesome a hunt was or this or that, but I think it's important to be like, also, just so you know, they win more times than we do.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
that's what makes it fun.
Exactly. And that's why we keep doing it.
Yeah. Oh,
As
man,
crazy
I
as
mean,
that sounds.
If
but
everybody tagged out on the first day,
It'd be over.
You'd be done. You'd be like, well, what in the world?
Yeah.
What are we going to do the rest of the day? Rest of the
Exactly.
week, rest of the season.
yeah.
You know?
What's the fun in that?
That's right.
So I think, and we kind of talked about it earlier, but that's how you learn and grow and everything is by screwing up. And
Absolutely.
everybody does it. You're gonna do it. And I feel like honestly, every year you're gonna screw up somewhere. I don't think you're gonna be perfect ever, and that's just the way it goes.
Oh, absolutely.
But so it sounds like you got a great turkey season lined up, and you're gonna go wherever the wind takes you.
That's right.
And and
By
hopefully,
the seat of my pants.
who knows? It may just bring you right here to Middle Tennessee.
I really want to. We've been talking about it for the last couple of years. We need to make it happen.
Yeah, just come on. Well, with Ben's voice dying, and I know that we've taken up enough of your time, I really do appreciate you coming on, my man. And
Yeah, man.
before we get out of
Appreciate
here, where can people find you and Strut Commander and everything?
Yeah,
like that?
absolutely. So Jordan Summitt, if you want to look me up on Instagram, it's at Jordy, Jordy, Summitt, Summitt. Obviously, we got Strut Commander. That is our sister company to Duck Commander. We got a full line of turkey calls. We like to turkey hunt all over the country. So look us up on YouTube. You can find us on socials, all that.
All right, guys. Well,
Good deal. Thank you for being on.
Thanks
with
for
us
having
today.
me.
all right. Thanks, brother. See y'all.
Redneck out.